the calendar. This year, there are 10 days of Navaratri, not of 9. 9 are the days in the night when the goddess had to fight the demons and to save her children from the effects of negativity. On one side, she was ocean of love and compassion, and on the other side, she was protecting them like a tigress. Because the times were such that nobody could meditate, nobody could take the name of God, nobody could think even of self-realization. But those who are sitting here today, you have been there also in those days. And you were all saved for today, for this day, so that you can achieve your self-realization. The form of the goddess in those days was not Maya Swarupi. She was in her real form, and that created a great awe even among the disciples. So the question of giving them self-realization was not there. First of all, they were to be saved. So like 9 months, the mother has to keep the child in her womb for these 9 months, or you can say 9 yugas, 9 times. You all have been saved properly. And on the 10th month, you are given your birth. Also, this birth is always after 7 days of 9 months. So we had to wait for some time till it matures. Now the 10th Navaratri today is to celebrate actually the Adishakti. So today we are really going to worship the Adishakti. On one side, the Adishakti is Mahakali. On the other side, she is Mahasaraswati. In the center, she is Mahalakshmi. And also she is the Amba, the one who is the Kundalini. But she is also beyond that. She is Parashakti. She is beyond all the powers because she is the generator of power. So she has to be beyond all that. So today when we are worshipping her, we have to worship her in all these forms. So you understand that the 10th day that we are having Navaratri for the first time in the calendar is because today is the day when we are worshipping Adishakti. Adishakti was never worshipped before, never. But this time when I went to Calcutta, I told them that we better worship Adishakti today. And they were surprised why today Mother is asking for Adishakti to be worshipped. So when I went back to Pune, they told me that Adishakti, as you know, is the Saptashringi, means the one with 7 peaks. She rests on the 7 peaks, means on the Sahasrara, on the seven chakras. She rules all the 7 chakras. They told me that when we had the puja in Calcutta, same time, that's the only time when those who follow Saptashringi, which are very few people, all of them come there. And there they come, first of all, the people from her mother's side. come down. So the mother side of the Adishakti are regarded as Vaishnavites, the one who follow Vishnu. So they come first there to worship her, and then the father-in-law side, that is Shiva's side, comes in, Sadashiva's side. That's exactly that time when we had the puja. They have these two groups together to worship. So now we have among ourselves people of two types. One are, we can call the one who worship Brahmadeva on the right hand side, and the people who worship Shiva on the left hand side. Both sides have to meet at a point, and that point has come, that we have to worship the complete integrated form of all these powers which has manifested within us. Now, when they say there is only one God, all right, there is one God. One God has got a head, he's got his liver, he's got his stomach, he's got his nose, he's got everything, just like as human beings are, because they say so that God made human beings in their own image. So then he has different parts in the bodies, and he has to run those different parts. And for these different parts, he has to have deities, and these deities are to be understood. And unless and until you understand and worship those deities, you cannot awaken those deities within yourself. But they all are part and parcel of the Adishakti, are completely under the control of the Adishakti. Yesterday you heard about the powers of the Adishakti. It's like a tortoise takes his whole body inside his shell. In the same way, I have withdrawn all these powers within myself. I mean, you cannot discover them easily. You cannot find them out easily, except for these modern cameras which are trying to cheat us. They are the ones who are giving my forms and things to you. Because there is light in these vibrations, and when these vibrations are emitted, you start seeing them in these cameras, even if they may not be very sensitive, but somehow people catch it. There have been so many miraculous photographs, as you know. One photograph you must have seen where Sri Ganesha himself is standing behind me. Now you don't see anyone standing just now here. But you don't know what's happening. And this is what one has to understand, that we have entered into a new realm of God's magic. And His magic works in so many ways. Of course, sometimes you also get lost because of your previous problems. You get dragged down. You get tempted. Sometimes you get also dominated by negative forces and you fall down. And this is a very sad thing that should happen to any such. Because perhaps you do not know your past and you do not know how you have struggled, how you have worked hard to come up to this level. And after coming to this level, if you do not try to go higher, then either you'll be stuck on the same place, or maybe that you may be thrown down. So, for you to know that you are a Sahajogi, you are not a wife, husband, mother, father, you are a Sahajogi. Like I am the Adi Shakti. Like that you are Sajjovis. So my main job now is to give realization to others. And because all my relationships are already fixed properly, I don't have to worry about any deity, about any god. They all work out very efficiently, everything. Now, the description yesterday, as you read, of the goddess, that her hands were throwing all the arrows with such a speed that as if one felt that she was dancing. It's a fact, no doubt. But you don't see that. You cannot see that every hair of mine is like an arrow. And it works so tremendously. But true, I'm just sitting here quietly, just like you as you are sitting. But it's not so. It's something much more. Now, when they show a lion or a tiger as my vahana, then you have to understand that they show actually they are. Actually they are. It's not that they're symbolically, actually they are. So, the dignity of a tiger, I have told you many a times how dignified it is. Because I sit on him. He's so dignified. If he has to eat the meat, he'll kill one cow or anything, eat the meat, leave it for others. He's so dignified. And once a month he eats. So even to get a vahana of this kind, this was to be evolved from amoeba stage to this stage. Otherwise he would not have been here. In the same way, you are evolved. And in you are all these vahanas also there. And they work out very quickly all that you want. You desire something. You'll be surprised immediately. You'll find it works out. You ask for something, immediately it works out. But there should be a complete dedication in Sahaja Yoga. When I say Sahaja Yoga, you know that is the yoga of your attention with my feet. That's what it is. But if you are still moving with your egos, and if you are still thinking on those lines, that we are something and we can start our own Sahaja, we can work out this way and that way, or my wife is like that, my child is like that, my husband is like that, you have to give up all these problems on one side. Otherwise, you will not ascend. It was not difficult for me to give you realization because you are just ready for that. But to keep your light on, you have to work hard. Now, tiger remains at its own position. It doesn't change. Lion remains at its own position. And they are all available all the time in their own position. All the devatas and gods are in their own position with their own qualities. They are there. Nowhere, none of these gods are described that they give you moksha, except for the goddess. She is the only one who gives you realization. Because she is in charge of all the 7 chakras. She holds all these 7 chakras, and on these 7 chakras, she can work it out. So there's a big history, evolution of all those things, even in the Virata's body and also in you people. So you have to cope with it. If you cannot cope with it, then it won't work out. Now the problems we have in the West, as you know, are stupid problems which are not suitable to any surgeon. Attachment. First they were not attached to their wives or to their children, now they are attached like glue. I do not say you give up your children or your wife, but your attachment should be with Sahaj Yoga. Once the blessings of Sahaj Yoga comes to you, they will flow to your children, to your wife, to everyone, to your country, to the whole world. Now supposing this is the attachment, a very simple electrical thing. So if its attachment is not to the mains and anywhere else, what's the use? It cannot give electricity to anybody else. It's a simple logic that you should be attached to the source of energy first. Simple logic. And then that energy can flow to others. If you yourself you are not attached to that source of energy, how can that power flow anywhere? It's a simple thing we do not understand in Sahaj Yoga. And so our attachments start getting rusted and we don't understand what has happened to us. You are not attached to the main source. And that's the only attachment you need. And then the whole thing will flow to the other end. So we have these kinds of attachments. Then we are attached to so many miserable things we like, which make us miserable. For example, we are attached to say some sort of a stupid entrepreneur fashion. We are attached to it. Whether it is in such culture or not, we are attached to it. And all these attachments are not to the source of joy, to the source of knowledge, to the source of energy which ascends. This is the reason why our situation of collective ascent is poor. Now the Adishakti's work is to give you realization first. Second is to give you life, to comfort you. If you have physical problems, she will look after you. She'll go all out. If you have mental problem, she'll try to solve it. So she is a comforter. She gives you the comfort. At the same time, she protects you. I've seen many people, even now, get frightened very soon at the slightest thing. Why should you be frightened? There's a tiger standing. You can't see him, maybe. Today might be in the picture. And your mother is so powerful. You have to understand how powerful she is. This is the understanding is not in your heads. Sometimes your wives are more powerful or your children are more powerful. When you know that your mother is so powerful and she's your mother, then you should be absolutely secure. And then things work out. I'll give you an example of one gentleman whom I met in Madras once, not many years back, about I think 2-3 years back or so. Such a seeker, immediately recognized me. And then he went down to Bombay, posting was there, and he received a letter saying that his mother on deathbed. So he went down. The doctor said that she has a galloping cancer and she's going to die in no time. He knows my mother is Adishakti. just took my photograph, sat before me. He said, Mother, I have nothing to say. Whatever you think proper for my mother, please do that. Just he said so. It's connected. They said 3 days after she's going to die, 3 days after she got out of the hospital. He took him down to Bombay, showed him in a hospital, in cancer hospital. They said she has no cancer, nothing, she's completely cured. If the energy is not allowed to flow, you are still worried about your wife, you're worried about your house, you're worried about your children, worried about this, about my children, my house, my wife. This my, when it drops, then I can work. But it should not be taken that I am saying that you become ascetics. No way. No saints were ascetics. They all had wives, they all had children. But all their attention was at the lotus feet of the mother. As Guru Nanak has said, that a little boy is playing with his kite. The kite is going all over. And he's talking to his friends, joking, this thing. But see, the attention is on the kite. There's a lady who is cleaning her house with a little child on her waist, and she's cleaning the house and grooming it. She's doing everything, but her attention is on her child. Then there are ladies in India, as you know, they have 3-4 pitchers filled water and they walk with both the hands like this. They know how to balance it. They're talking to each other, laughing, making fun, pulling legs. But the attention is on the pitchers. My attention is always on your Kundalini. You cannot play tricks in Sajog. Take it from me. Anybody who tries to play any trick will be very badly punished. So please be very, very careful not to be dishonest and not to play tricks in Sajog. I won't do anything but here they are. You see already with all his teeth. They are all fixed quantities, I have told them. They are fixed quantities. They know what to do and they will do it. So there is no need to play any tricks in Sahaja. This is another mistake of Sahajogis, that they think they can play tricks with me or with Sahaja. When those things come into your head, I would say these are demonic ideas because they will destroy you completely. On one side, Sahaja Yoga is a blessing. Absolutely blessing on the ascent. You go ahead like that. You go to a height, but you must know also you have reached the height. You have to be very careful to be there, because once you fall from that height, how deep you will go is logical again to see that you will fall very low. So here you are having the blessings, all the beauties, all the love, all the joy, all the knowledge, all the friends, all the care. And there, if you don't want to be here, just because you are playing tricks, you want to be here and play tricks, that is not possible. That doesn't work out. You are immediately thrown out. And once you are thrown out, God knows where you'll go. That's not our lookout. But you are thrown out by these. So one has to know that the deities are extremely alert. And they are watching all of you. Because they have to guard you, they have to look after you, they have to help you, they have to do everything for you. They have to work out everything for you. They are the ones who create flowers for you. They are doing all kinds of good things for you. But at the same time, they are only attached to me, all of them, not to you. Because you are my children, they are looking after you. Once you try to misbehave, you are finished and you go down. But the compassion of your mother is so great that she always tries to forgive, give chances, and tells those deities to keep quiet. Of course, they obey. Up to a point. But if you want to be nasty people, if you want to be cruel, if you want to be sinful and staying in Sahaja Yoga, you cannot. It's not like any religion as you saw yesterday, that you commit any mistakes, do what you like, kill anyone, cheat anyone, and still be there. It's not like that. Here you have to be Sahaja Yogi in the real sense of the word. And this is why one has to understand. There are some Sahaja Yogis have come, they can't get in. I think the doors are closed. So, now such a tremendous power, so alert, so affectionate, so kind, is there. And a mother who is your teacher. Mother teaches children with love. Not only that, but you never even felt how I taught you Sahaja Yoga. You just learnt it like that. It's a child's play for you. It's such a difficult and subtle subject. You picked it up without any difficulties. So artfully it was done, beautifully it was done, built in within you. Now you know this is Sahaja Yoga, this is not Sahaja Yoga. All this knowledge came to you so sweetly. The way you sing Indian music, you see, even the Indians are surprised. They can't sing like you sometimes. Those who had come to my program, they saw you, some musicians, they said we were really ashamed. How could these people sing so well and pronounce everything so well? And you have to trust this power fully. Those days when people were in difficulties, they were always attacked, they had not got their self-realization. They had to put their trust into the divine power. They had to put. But now when you have got realization, you have got your freedom. Should never forget that you have to trust this divine power all the time, that it will look after you. Now, how do we play tricks in Sahaja Yoga? Some lazy lumps come into Sahaja Yoga. Absolute lazy lumps means they must be left-sided or whatever it is. And if you tell them you better do this work, no mother, I won't do this work because my right side will come up. Very common trick. It's a very common trick. I can't do this work. When it comes to work, they'll just run away. How many people work? Very few. The other day I went to the kitchen and I asked these Indian girls what's happening. They said they're all running away. Nobody's here to help us. Nobody wants to take responsibility. But the trick is that it is played on Sahaja Yoga, that if I do this thing, I will become right-sided. But if you become left-sided, this one is there. It's very nice you have put him here. I'm very happy. So all lethargic people, lazy lumps, always do that. Now somebody is told that you have to get up in the morning. They feel terrible about it. Oh, how to get up. But if you go back into your own background, you'll say you must have taken drugs, you must have taken alcohols, you must have taken all these left-sided things. That's why you cannot get up in the morning. Now, how will you finish or neutralize those bad habits that you had? How will you do it? If you start getting up early in the morning, slowly the habit will be formed and you can get rid of it. It's just to make yourself available when the morning sun is about to come. Alcohol itself is such a left-sided nonsense. So much so that once the goddess drank all the alcohols of the world, you won't believe, all the alcohols. Saints like Sainath smoked all the tobacco of Maharashtra, but still they are smoking. Like Shiva drank the whole of the poison because he is the giver of life. Whatever they have worked so much, so sincerely, earnest, complete concentration. You see me working like that, but they have also worked the same. So don't take things for granted. I have told many of you to write down, what have I done for Sahaj today? For myself, I'll do everything. I'll paint my house. I'll paint my kitchen, everything. I'll have a nice sari done up, blouse done up. Myself, what have I done for Sahaj? How many presents I have given to others? How many letters I have written to others? What experiences I have written down? Above all, how many times I have felt the love of my mother in my heart? But I'll tell you the reason in the West why the big problem is. I've discovered it now. As I discovered Sahaj Yoga, also I've discovered the secret, which I'm telling you today. This is also the Shakti of penetration. That one can find out the demons, how they work in our minds, how they prosper. I think I've told some people, but I'm going to tell you all. When we are children, till the age of 5 years, we are ego-oriented in the sense that we are just looking after ourselves. You give 10 toys to 10 children, they'll take their toys and play with each other, don't talk to anyone, they'll just go and play. They'll not disturb another one. It's all parallel living. They won't disturb. If they disturb, they might beat, they might do something else nonsensical. This might be due to some sort of a booth in them as children. But when they are 5 years of age, supposing now you ask somebody, a child from here, see now, what do you see? He says, I see a tiger here, and these flowers, this, all this I see. But if you make him stand there, supposing somebody standing that side, what will he see? Still he will say he sees tiger, flowers, this, that. You try. Because he cannot see the point of view of another person. He's just busy with his ego. Now, the whole culture in the West, I have found now, I don't know, formally it was not so. Parents had a great grip over the children and they had responsibility of children. They behaved well so that children should be all right. Not like before the children, they go on fighting with each other. I mean, they must be fighting a little bit, but in the bedrooms they must be doing. Because I have not seen films when I was young where the husband and wife are only all the time fighting or going for divorce. No, at all understanding between husband and wife. But when it is another woman or another man, their faces go like this. If you see on the street, two people going with each other like this, then you know that these two are not husband and wife. This is modern times. These are modern times. And the West is the worst. So what happens that the parents are also not grown up, they are not matured, they have no sense of responsibility, they have got children, how to behave with the husband. Especially the women here are extremely, extremely dominating and stupid, I must say. They don't know anything about cooking, they don't know anything about anything. They can only career girls, they can go sit in the bank and write something. And they're extremely stupid. They don't know how to handle their husband, they don't know how to handle their children. They have had no training. Their mothers paid no attention to them. No disciplining at all. So this ego-oriented child is still ego-oriented. No love, no affection. We would say my mother was a very strict person, extremely strict. But she was extremely loving also. Extremely loving, extremely strict. Just like Jagadamba. I mean, she would make us cook food. Even the handle, how you hold, she would tell us, this is not the angle, this is not the way, you do this way. Why are you standing like this? Where is your attention? And no questions were to be asked. All that disciplining and all that thing which came to us in our childhood is today helpful to us. And they were extremely loving. They were for our benevolence. Whatever they did were for our benevolence. But I think, especially in Switzerland, I always felt that the mothers are uneducated and they're extremely jealous of their daughters also. Our mothers, my mother was very well educated, but her mother was not. But she was a wise woman. She had her sense of responsibility. She knows she was a mother and she has to behave herself. She has not to be childish and stupid. So because that love was not given to these ladies, they are still ego-oriented. They are still babies. They are not yet grown up. Still they cannot see the other person's point of view. And they become extremely obstinate. No, this is true. Now let us face it. Today you have had this puja of Adi Shakti is a dangerous one because this is like a mirror where you will have to see yourself. Clearly, face yourself. To dominate your husband is a stupid nonsense. Because you don't know how to handle your husband, that's why. I would say Indian women dominate their husbands all right, in a way. The husbands can't do without their wives. Can't do without their wives. They don't know even how to pack their things. They don't know how to even make tea. They don't know how to boil an egg. They don't know anything. They don't know even how to lock the house, open it, even open the wardrobe, how to spread a bed. They don't know anything whatsoever that is practical. I would say that My husband would always come and ask me, is this tie all right? I mean, this is since long. Now he knows I'm Adi Shakti, but before also. He used to come and ask, is it all right? No, it's no good. All right, he would change. But because you are not grown up, you are not matured, you don't know how to handle your husbands, you try to dominate. And then the children learn from you, they also try to dominate you. Apparently, you must understand, it is the authority coming from the top. Like I always will say, I'm not God, Sadashiva is God. God was quite shocked when I told him first this thing. But I am God also. Without me, what is he? I am his power. He's powerless. But let him be God. Good. Because if you have to blame someone, you blame him. He's God. But I have to work hard to keep him pleased. Otherwise, he doesn't care for anyone. He'll just destroy. That's all he knows. He'll destroy you. Anybody tries to play any tricks with me, he'll destroy you so badly that for lives together, you cannot become a human being. He's like that. Terrible fellow. He's the one who has done all these things, So, we have to grow. We have to grow as wise women. As women who are like the Mother Earth, as I told you. And when you ask me that, Mother, you work so hard and you look so fresh, because I enjoy it. It's like a music to me. Doing work is a music to me. Cooking is a music to me. Everything is a music to me. Do you get tired of music? On the contrary, you feel fresh. And when I kill demons, as you must have seen there, I get more enlightened. More light comes into. It's the other way around. So I have to make you understand that today, please have full introspection, soul searching. Find out what's wrong with us. Do not pamper your ego, because ego makes you idiotic. That you must have seen. We have some people in Asaj Yoga who are like that, idiots, but they think no end of themselves. We all know that. We have to have some buffoons also in the circus. But we have to have lions and tigers. What impresses the people are the lions and the tigers, and not the buffoons. So it is important, let us have the introspection and see for ourselves how much we have done for Sahaja. Of course, I have to congratulate you for one thing, because I am like that. I've done nothing to be like that. I'm just like that. I am. So I am the power. If I have the power, because I am the power, what is there to feel very elated about it? I do not feel that way at all. But if I do not use my power, then I become like a human being. Why I am the goddess? Because I use every bit of my power. And if you people do not use your power, out of any nonsense, any fear you may have, You may have any kind of cause of temptation or restriction, anything. If you're not going all out to use your power of love, then you cannot ascend. So the whole thing, if you see so clearly, the whole power of your mother is of love. Whatever she does is out of her love for her creation. And the introspection starts, but it should not be late. I used to say since long, the way they are exhausting the Mother Earth, making so many things. You must have heard me saying this for the last 18 years, I've been saying this. Today, now, ecological problems standing like a Rakshasa before you. Now, what do you do with it? So you face that. Automatically, you have to face yourself, your destruction, the introspection. If you do not do now, you will face it at a time when it will be very late. So don't be just satisfied with yourself that you have now Sajogi, so done. If you have come to my puja, of course, like if you fall into the sea has a power to absorb you, but also has a power to throw you back on the shores. It acts both ways. So why can't I go deep into Sajoga? There are excuses also. I've got no time, I'm very busy, I'm working in the office, I'm doing that. Then you are not a surgeon. All your time is for surgery. But because of that, Sahaja Yoga gives you sufficient time to do everything. I know of people whom I suddenly find in the pujas, sometimes in Vancouver, sometimes in San Diego, sometimes here. I said, how are you here? What about your business? He said, the business has brought us here, exactly on this date. When this power is so great, to realize it, to know how great it is, then you leave everything to this power. It works out for you, everything. So today we are talking about Shakti, about the power of the goddess, which are much more to be discovered and too intricate, very well balanced and extremely efficient. But whatever work these powers have done within you, please try to respect them. Please try to assimilate them and let your being grow. Don't say that now I'm married or that I've got pregnancy, that I've got children, I've got jobs, nothing. Everything becomes perfect as soon as you perfect yourself. Everything is related to your perfection. Then you don't ask me question, what job I have to do, mother? What I have to achieve? Nothing. You just see your way through and everything works out. So all the demons were killed. They are again back in their own seats. The worst thing is they have entered into the heads of the seekers because they have come as gurus now. They have come as Catholic Church, as Protestant Church, all kinds of temples and all kinds of fundamentalists and all that. Or they look like Rakshasas also, if you look at them. And when they influence you, they go into your heads. But after coming to Sahaja, even those heads are cleansed and you are all right out of it. But then what to do with this? With doing all this work, with cleansing and giving joy and everything, then what to do? You have to give it to others. This is your responsibility. So first of all, your character, your behavior, your relationships should be so pure that by itself it will emit light. Like if you have a very clean uh, glass, the light can pass through. But also, Kundalini being the pure desire, you must have a very fervent and extremely bubbling, you can call it absolutely pouring out desire. Whom to give vibrations now, whom to give realization? You give it to the trees, you give it to the dogs, you give it to anyone. And if you find human beings, also give them. Rather difficult. So that has to be done. But whatever you are doing, keep attention in your connection. But here they are doing Sahaja and there your connection is loose. Then what you are giving? Sahaja or what? You are giving darkness. You are giving ignorance. You are giving madness. So to this powerful Shakti, you must all the time keep connection and keep her pleased, like the protocol. It's very important because all these, you see, they have the protocol sets because they're fixed. You should also fix your protocol properly. It's rather difficult or embarrassing as a human being for me to tell you what should be the protocol of the goddess. Really. But I had to tell you because I don't want you should be harmed. But the protocol must be observed. And could be understood very well. Of course, it's much better now. First time they had my puja, my photograph, you see, be very different. I was so surprised they didn't know what to do. All right. Now, please also pay attention to your protocol. For example, people walk just early in the morning in their pajamas. That's not proper. Dress up properly. You're going, you don't know what Adi Shakti is. Or you know. If you know, then you are going to face Adi Shakti. Protocol must be understood. For that, luckily, In India, people have a lot of sense. Also, they are sometimes missing in it. So, protocol is very important because these will be really furious if you don't keep the protocol. That is extremely important. That's why Christ has said, I'll tolerate anything against myself, but nothing against the Holy Ghost. And also he has said that beware of the murmuring souls. Because if you murmur on my back, I hear everything. They are reporting all the time. If you do anything on my back, I know what's happening. I give time, but then it acts. It's for your benevolence, for your good, for your ascent, for which you have fought for ages. You must respect yourself that you are seekers and now you have found out the truth. So make a crown out of it and put it on your head. You are like lords. Unless and until you know what powers you have and how you got them, and you remember it, and also this truth becomes part and parcel of you, your growth is going to be difficult. You will be neither here nor there, hanging in the air like a pendulum going here to there, left to the right, right to the left. And a Sahajogini should be ashamed to say that I'll go on the left or I'll go on the right. How can he be so vulnerable? Because you have not grown. You have to be like Rock of Gibraltar. How can you catch? All right, if you think somebody is extremely negative, don't go near that person. But you cannot become a dainty darlings. My children are Veeras, the chivalrous. They have to be. You are my children. You are no more Christians, Hindus, Muslims. You are no more all these horrible demonic people, but you are my children and you have to be brave, you have to be righteous, you have to be good, you have to be compassionate, you have to be dynamic. That's the minimum. I hope after this puja, we'll sit down, meditate, and do introspection and find out why I do it. What is the problem? See, some people yesterday were dozing off. I saw them. Because of left nabi. So correct your left nabi. But if you are really connected with this divine power, you may keep awake for 3 days and 3 nights. You will not be tired. It has happened with you sometimes. But attention should be on the power. Attention should be on the connection that we have with this power. Then only. Otherwise, you'll be exhausted naturally. Everything's so logical. So logical it is. Thank God and thank yourself. Thank your luck. You are so fortunate that you are very few who have achieved this connection and that you are sucking that power within yourself so easily. Now, why are you behaving like these ordinary street people? With your stupid questions? You'll be surprised that what is in previous lives never spoke so much as I have spoken. One or two words were some surprise, were sufficient. Like she said, who? And kill this. Ha? Finish that. All these things she managed only by saying who, ha, he. But they never gave realization to anyone. None of the incarnations, they said, no, 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 not me. Not me, sorry. I'm not going to do it. They must have seen human beings, how stupid they are. Oh God, nothing. I'm all right. I can go to jungle for 14 years. I can do the driver's job with Arjuna, or I can get crucified, or I can take poison. But don't tell me to deal with human beings. No, 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 no. It's better to go to a zoo than to go to this. And that's why none of them, and some of them it did not even talk about it, thinking that if we talk, they'll say, then why not give us the realization? None of them. So this is the Adishakti's compassion, love, and confidence that you should have also confidence. Not only that I have given you realization, but I have given you powers that you can give realizations to others. None of these incarnations did that, which you are doing today. With all their powers, they did not do it, while you can do it, despite the fact the instruments are not so strong, not so divine. But still, we have to come up and work out in our own lives the priorities that we have. For the gods, the priorities were only divine work, nothing else. Nobody took up a job, nobody. Nobody went to university, nobody studied. Only thing they did was the work of God. So you do everything else as work of God. And that's how the energy will flow into you. When you start doing the work of God, everything you do becomes work of God. In the sense that you do the work of God, you decide, I'm going to do the work of God, then God takes over. He does all the rest of the things, you do only the work of God. He takes over. I hope you understand this. Try. Have confidence. And also thank God there is someone like your mother who can tell you what's wrong with you. Thank God. Even your mothers didn't tell you what was wrong because they were so frightened of you. And don't say then when you say something, mother, my heart catches. I mean, what can you do then? If you understand that this is for your improvement, I'm doing it. It's out of love, out of concern, then you'll work it out. But I don't think it is so much of a mental understanding, but it's the understanding of a higher level where it becomes just part and parcel of your awareness. How can it be wrong? It all has to be good for me. Everything is good for me. Last but not the least, one must understand that as all These 7 chakras I am working on are in a collective way held by me, by Virata. The quality of Viratangana is that she creates this universal awareness within us, the collectivity. And if you do not realize that in modern times we are in a spiritual path in a collective way only, this is what it is. Because we have reached to the state of Sastra. And here we have to have a collective working only. There's no other way out. This is what is to be absolutely realized. Anybody who tries to harm the collectivity by bad behavior or by anything will be thrown out, no doubt, but also will fall into wrong hands. So collectivity is the work of Adishakti. Because at the Sahasrara is the rule of Virata. And the power of Virata is the Viratangana, is the one who does collectivity. This is the most important point we must know. If we cannot be collective because of anything, jealousy maybe, inferiority complex, maybe anything which is coming from behind, like a worm crawling up, then know that's something wrong with you, nothing wrong with the collectivity. Don't criticize the collectivity till I myself find it out and I'll put it right. Keep to the collectivity wisely and earnestly and try to keep the collectivity together. Try to help to keep the people collective, to enjoy together. Don't criticize each other. Only criticize yourself if you are in the habit of criticism. Better criticize yourself is better, because these are habits also. People, especially I've seen people in the West, they react to everything. If they see this carpet, oh, I don't like it. But this is not yours, you have not paid for you. What have you got to do with it? No, I don't like it. But it's not yours. What's the question? It's lying here. Why should you be so upset about it? I don't like that person. I don't like that dress. Who are you? I don't like. This is not allowed in Sajjana. I don't like. There is a way of saying things. But there is no need to say anything whatsoever. So all this kind of bumptiousness and showing off is against collectivity. Then there are some other stupid type of people who are always there to take my photograph, I've seen. You tell them, don't be so forward, don't go. No, I will, I don't do this, I am not. Finished. But some of them are really confirmed, certified, I think. Stupid idiots. They cannot be improved. But I told you that don't make them your ideals. Don't fall their images. So then, we come to this point that Adishakti's work is the most important work in the whole creation. All right, killing the demons was over. What is it? Done. Saraswati's work was done. She created universe also. So what? Mahalakshmi's work was done. She brought it to human level. All right. So what? But the climax is now that you have got your realization that you have got this special quality, that now you have entered into the kingdom of God. So now behave yourself. And also, you must have that dignity to know that now we have entered into the kingdom of God. I've seen once, I was going to see the president of India. But to him, he was another human being. I mean, it never goes into my head, this presidentship and all that. He was walking up, and those who were walking with me became very conscious, you see, like this. I said, what's the matter with these people? Have they seen some ghost or something? Just going on the steps, there were some people standing with, you see, spears and thing as guards or whatever it is. So I was just laughing at all that. But these people were became very conscious of when you are entering into the kingdom of God, how conscious you should be about your behavior. How you should be, how you should behave. Just feel the uniqueness of your personality, that you are in the kingdom of God already. Just feel it. If you can feel only that, then you will know what a place of pride you have got and how dignified you should be, how beautiful you should be, how neat and clean and sweet you should be, how much maryadas you must know, everything. And when you realize that now you are the coveted, or we can say the highest citizens of the kingdom of God, then you have to prove that you have really realized it, that you really feel that way. And you should feel extremely joyful, happy. Like yesterday, at the smallest thing, everybody is laughing. Like the other street people. It's not the Saju. If there was a big joke or something, laugh. Otherwise, somebody's talking, you're laughing. I was surprised. You're Sajogis. Think of saints doing this. Will they do? You are saints. You are Munindras. With manana, with your meditation, you have become the kings. How can you behave in an indignified manner? Now, try to assume your position. Try to feel it. Yesterday, of course, when the last song started, it did penetrate, I know, into many souls, to many hearts. That unique joy, which we call as Niranand. I did feel it yesterday. But keep it up. It's just to be kept very safely. Into your kumbhas is the Kundalini, and she's the one who has come up. So my idea was that today is not only the worship of the kumbha, where the Kundalini resides, but the kumbha becomes like a flower pot. It's like that. That has happened. And then it can also, as somebody said that, Mother, these flower pots also can become table lamps. I said, see now, you have said it. So the kumbha becoming flowers and flowers becoming light. And the lights with fragrance. I hope you'll understand my vision and you'll stand by me. And you'll come up to that. I depend on you entirely for my vision. We have to change this whole world into a beautiful place. For that, not much sacrifice is needed. You are already blessed. You don't have to do much. Only thing is keep your attention on the source of power. May God bless you. Thank you. Patya says we promise. We all say that. Thank you very much.